Hello and welcome back to the KCC channel. I'm Rob and I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Today we're jumping into the ProRevenge archives. Our first story today comes to us from SpongeBob No Pants. Try to prank me? Good luck getting your camper back with a lot of cash. Let's jump right in. I think this qualifies as ProRevenge because it wasn't petty. This just happened, finalized yesterday. Anyone who follows me or read any of my posts knows something about my wife's best friend I'll call Karen. A harpy from hell, she makes everyone, even my wife sometimes, miserable. She also thinks she is smarter than everyone and just stuck up enough to believe no one would dare cross her. So a friend of ours, I'll call Bill, bought a piece of property next door to us. He had a bad car accident in November and lives an hour away. He made me a legal agent of the property, which means I have almost as much power as he does. Think property manager. It has a small house on it that is unoccupied, but I keep an eye on things. He bought the property only because next to the house is a big asphalt parking lot. It used to be a lot for a small used car company. His reasoning was that during the bad winter months, he could park equipment and trucks from his other companies there. So he also had me put up huge no parking, violators will be towed at owner's expense signs all around it. Moving on, so Sunday I'm elbow deep into an RC submersible when my wife bursts into my study, yells for me to listen to something. I take the phone, and who is doing a live video? Karen. Karen was talking about how she was going away for a few days. This was Sunday morning, because she was so stressed out from always giving people advice and helping them through their problems, etc. And then she mentioned again why my wife told me. She talked about how she parked her 46-foot, fifth wheel, $35,000 camper next door to me, and seeing Bill was unreachable this week, I would have to look at it for the next 3 days as a reminder that she is not only smarter, but 10 moves ahead of me, and I'm a dink because I wouldn't loan her a truck and it cost her money to rent one. Turns out she told her husband, who is gone during the week for work, that she had Bill's permission to put it there, so early Sunday morning he towed it over there. I was pissed. She has a tendency to lie, so I went outside and there it was, parked right there. In the middle of the lot was her camper. I actually smiled because I had a perfect plan. As being a manager of the property, I also had a right to have any vehicle towed off there, including that one. I had two options. Call Garage A, owned by a nice guy, doesn't charge the state maximum for the tow and storage fees, explain what happened, and he might cut you a break. Then there is Garage B. He doesn't care if he has to tow your car 15 feet, he is charging you the max and always charges the maximum storage fees. So you're darn right I went with Garage B. Called the guy, gave him my name, told him I manage the property and bring a fifth wheel. He had it gone in less than half an hour. This is the best part yet, my friends. I didn't tell her it was towed until yesterday morning. Yes, I waited from Sunday afternoon till Tuesday morning. Yesterday morning, she is on Facebook live streaming from her car, talking about how she was going to visit her camper for another laugh. Then I go on live. My wife sent her a message to get on my live stream like now and post the link to my page. When she was viewing, I said this: "Hey Karen, hope you had a wonderful time. I have to tell you something. I had your camper towed. With me being the properties manager and Bill being unavailable, I had to have it towed. We can't let people think they can just park on there illegally. XYZ Tow has the camper. I was going to call you Sunday, but you seemed so stressed out that I thought you deserved the break. I mean, the camper is safe. That's all that matters, right?" Well, Facebook lit up like a Christmas tree. As I had hoped, those watching her stream followed because, they were curious too. And then the messages started. A few condemned me, but most were supportive. Some thought it was about time someone showed her that she wasn't all-powerful and no one was scared of her. Then it went quiet. Now, a normal person might be pissed, but understandable. She went the wounded Karen route. That afternoon, she got back on again. She was crying, fake crying, about how it was going to cost her over $2,000 in fees because her husband wouldn't be back till Friday to tow it back, and could someone please do it for her? A bonus I was hoping would happen. And that if she started a GoFundMe page, would people donate to help her pay the fees? The answer to that was between no and F no. But hey, she didn't threaten to sue me at least, right? Side note, Bill is unavailable this week except to certain people, which I am part of. I called him and told him the whole story. His answer was exactly, good. You want to play games? Then be prepared to lose. The camper is still there. No one volunteered to go get it. A few said they would for gas money, but she tried to play it off as it would be helping her and she owed so much in fees and that she would owe them a favor no one could collect on because she has nothing to bargain with. So wait a second here, Karen was your wife's best friend, but your wife is the one who came in and showed you that she was live and that she was parking the camper there? That is absolutely epic. With friends like that, who needs enemies? Now, I can't stand Facebook itself and I don't spend any time on there at all. Are you meaning to tell me that there's people on there that live stream just the regular crap going on in their lives and people actually watch that? I knew that place was a cesspool, but this is just confirming it. Do me a quick favor, have a look down below the video. If that subscribe button's still red, it means you're not actually subscribed to the KCC channel. Please hit that subscribe button for more daily Reddit stories. Our next story today comes to us from You Shouldn't Care. Level 3 crooks get obliterated by level 99 boss. Don't commit crimes you are too stupid for. Let's jump right in. What you need to know in advance. This didn't happen to me but to my boss. He's a district attorney in a larger city in Germany. He drives an expensive car, and he has a device that signals the police where he is and that he is in danger. The participants are boss, 5 youngsters, and the police. Now on to the story. One day, he drove home from work and suddenly 2 boys, 17 and 16, jumped in front of his car, forcing him to stop. My boss was really scared, thinking that they were to take revenge on him because he put many people in jail, and immediately pressed the button on this device to inform the police. The police immediately rushed with all available units, but they immediately shouted at him, accusing him of trying to kill them. The 3 other boys ran to the scene, also shouting at my boss that they're going to call the police and that he is going to lose his license. Then one of the 2 of them offers that he could give them all the money he's got with him and they would leave him alone. At that point, my boss decided to serve some spicy revenge on these buttholes. Knowing that every police officer available is rushing to the scene and he only needs to play for time, so he immediately agreed, but under one condition. They all need to sign a written agreement containing that he paid the money and they are not going to press charges or inform the police. Those dumb butts agreed, so he wrote the contract and everyone signed it. After they handed the paper back, they demanded the money, but my boss just laughed at them, stating that no one is going to believe them since he had a written proof that what they have done was highly illegal and that they are going to jail, not mentioning that the police were coming. The police come from effing everywhere. Damn, he cannot resist a big, wide smile when he is describing their faces, and I can totally understand that. They were looking like scared ghosts on the verge of existence. One of the smart boys thought that this paper needs to vanish, so this dummy decides to rip it out of my boss's hands in front of the police, as they should later realize this was their biggest mistake, and they tried to escape from the police, but 3 of them were caught. The police thought that they wouldn't get to know where the other 2 were unless one of the others snitches. Well, they didn't need a snitch because they all signed the paper with their real effing names, so police got the other 2 as well. Fast forward to court, there were several trial dates, but I'll shorten it. Do you remember that I told you that one of them made a big mistake? Well, here in Germany, there is a law from the old era still in place that gets you a minimum sentence of 5 years when you rob a motorist. 2 of them, both above 18, got 6 years in adult prison, also because of their criminal history. 2 of them got 3 years in juvenile detention, and the last one was lucky with only community service. All in all, my boss actually didn't need to do much. They destroyed their lives mostly on their own. I just wanted to mention that OP had a little thing at the top that said that English wasn't their first language. Whenever I see that at the top of a post, it's usually much better written than people who have had English as a first language. I just want to touch on one thing. So they pressed this button and it was supposed to summon all of the police in the area to where they are. But after pressing that button, there was enough time for these kids to attempt to extort OP, for OP to completely write up a contract and get all of the 5 kids to sign it? Okay. The police force there might not like protecting you as much as you think. Our next story today comes to us from Deadlock 1989. Good luck paying for the car. Let's jump right in. So this isn't my story, it happened to a friend of a friend, so exact details are difficult to get. But this is what I was told. For ease of story and to hide identities, the names I will use are Jack and Jill. Bit of a backstory, Jack and Jill had been going out for nearly 5 years by the point of this story. A year prior, Jill lost her job due to the company she worked for being liquidated. Money got tight for Jill, so Jack offered to help by covering her car payments, monthly installment, road tax, insurance, and fuel, so she could put the money she got to rent and utilities until she got a new job and was financially stable. Jack had a fairly decent job, so wasn't a strain on his income. A year goes by and Jill is still unemployed, but not through rejections. She got lazy and just spent all day doing nothing around her house whilst Jack was at work. One day, Jack gets off work early and decides to surprise Jill on the way back home. But as he is approaching her house, he sees another car in her driveway. He parks on the street and sneaks up to the house and looks through the window to see Jill with another man. Jack was pissed, but he didn't burst in there. He walked away, got into his car, and drove off. When Jack got home, he did a little digging and found out who the guy was through Facebook and found she had been having an affair for half a year with this guy. He was now really pissed off and wanted revenge, and he knew the best way to do it. This is where the revenge comes in. Jill loved her car, even though she barely used it, so what Jack did was stop all the payments that were going out of his bank account and put them onto her account. As the car was in her name, it was easy to do. As the payments had only just gone out, he had to wait for the end of the month for his revenge to unfold. The end of the month comes and Jill's bank card is declined at the shops. She calls the bank up to find out what is going on, and they tell her she has gone overdrawn because of the car payments going out of her account. Jill phoned Jack and asked why the payment is coming out of her account and not his. Jack coldly replied, "'Cause I know you cheated on me, and I'm not gonna pay for my ex-girlfriend's car," and hung up. Fallout of the revenge, she tried to get Jack to pay for the car, even got lawsuits involved, but as she was the sole owner of the car, it was declared he had no legal responsibility to pay for her car. As she couldn't afford her road tax or insurance, she couldn't drive the car, and eventually, she got so far behind in the payments, the car was repossessed. To pay the debt, she had to get a minimum wage job and now takes the bus to and from work. I'm not quite sure that's how bank accounts work. Like, you can't just set up another person's bank account for automatic withdrawal. You have to have an authorization. I mean, if this does work, if there's somebody out there who'd like to give me an account number and pay for my car, I'd appreciate it. Thanks. Our next story today comes to us from PJ Murphy. My job is super easy. Okay, you do it. Let's jump right in. I was telling a buddy about this sub and he related this story. Buddy is a very charismatic guy, great friend, and probably a great coworker. He's the type of guy that everyone is fond of, easygoing, and seems to have a knack for personal relationships. Always remembers birthdays. If he hears that a band you like is coming to town, he'll text you the news, that sort of guy. Buddy works for a company that services industrial machinery. It was a small operation. There was Buddy, good boss, owner, the kid in the warehouse, a couple of technicians, and some office ladies who handled administration. Buddy was the pivot man in the operation. He was the point of contact for the technicians and had great relationships with the clients and the vendors who supplied the parts. He knew his job inside out, and everyone likes dealing with him. He gets things done. Now, the way this place worked is that the technicians would send in their reports for the day after 4 p.m. Buddy would look them over, looking for rockets. These were high priority jobs that needed to be done ASAP, as opposed to routine maintenance issues. He would then email the kid a list of parts to be picked. Buddy worked 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and was on call for emergencies. If a rocket came in after hours, Buddy would email the kid to add it to the morning order. The kid arrived for work at 7 a.m. and would pick parts orders for the technicians. These would be picked up by a local courier at 9 a.m. and taken to a depot. There were 2 major industrial areas in town, and the depot wasn't more than a large mailbox in a post office in each area. The technicians could avoid city traffic by going directly to the depots, which were very close to the clients. The couriers would get these boxes to the depots about 9:30. Buddy would schedule a call for the technicians, and when they finished the first call, they would head around the corner to the depot to pick up their parts. Things ran smoothly for years, and then Good Boss decided he wanted to move on. He was grooming Buddy for the move up, and Buddy learned most of the managerial duties Good Boss covered in addition to his own duties, things like QuickBooks and scheduling, etc. Good Boss leaves and Buddy takes over these responsibilities. Again, things run smoothly until owner tells Buddy that he's getting a new supervisor, Bad Boss. This guy came from a sales background, had no experience in operations, and was basically there to help owner bid on big jobs, but his title was Operations Director, and he was Buddy's new boss. Buddy was angry that he had been denied the chance to move up, which in a small operation doesn't happen often. Add to that the fact that Bad Boss was a jerk, but not a dumb jerk, and quickly figured out that Buddy was a threat. And so the lines were drawn. Bad Boss had it in for Buddy, and Buddy wasn't taking any of his crap. One day, Bad Boss comes in about 8:45 and sees Buddy shooting the crap in the coffee room with one of the office ladies and lays into him. "Why aren't you at your desk? I don't pay you to stand around talking. Get to work." Buddy starts to protest that he's actually at the office 15 minutes before his shift, but Bad Boss cuts him off. "I don't listen to BS excuses. I want you at your desk at 8 a.m. sharp, and I want you to send me an email every morning to prove it. Now get going." Buddy sends him an email, BCC to owner, asking Bad Boss to confirm that he wants Buddy working 8 to 4:30. There was also a previous email saying no overtime. Bad Boss sends a tersely worded confirmation. Now Buddy comes in just before 8 a.m., sends an email right at 8 a.m., confirming he's on duty, and BCC to owner. But here's the problem. The technicians send their reports in after 4 p.m. Buddy lets it be known on the down low that closer to 4:30 the better. So the parts requests come in at 4:25, and Buddy leaves at 4:30. He doesn't get a chance to review them until 8 the next morning. He sends the order pick to the kid, who doesn't have enough time to assemble the order before the courier comes at 9 a.m. So what used to be next day service ends up taking an extra day. If a technician requests a part on his Monday report, he gets it Wednesday, not Tuesday, the way things worked before. The customers start to revolt loudly and energetically. These are industrial production machines, and when a rocket is delayed, it means a machine is down for an entire day. The customers are losing production and they are not happy. Buddy gets called into a meeting on Thursday with the owner and Bad Boss, demanding to know what the heck is happening. Bad Boss is in full form and says that Buddy's job is super easy and these delays are unacceptable. Buddy explains exactly why the delays are occurring. It's all because Bad Boss changed his hours. Owner gives Bad Boss the stink eye after confirming that he ordered the schedule change. "Okay, fine," Bad Boss concedes. "You go back to your old hours starting Monday." "I won't be here Monday," replies Buddy. "What are you talking about? I'm on holiday for 2 weeks. Didn't you check the vacation schedule?" Bad Boss goes red in the face. "I never approved a holiday request for you. You are not on holiday." "Yes, I am. The request was approved by Good Boss before you were hired. Do you want to see the emails?" "I don't give a crap. Your holidays are canceled." "Sorry, but my brother's getting married and I am in the wedding party. I fly out to the Dominican on Saturday. I will be back in 2 weeks." "Who have you trained to take over your duties?" asks owner. "Well, back in the day, Good Boss would cover. I guess it's up to Bad Boss to cover while I'm gone." Bad Boss is stuck. He can't very well claim that Buddy's job is super easy and then claim later in the same meeting that he can't do it. Oh my lord, what a crap show. The technicians requested, say, a front sensor for a boom stopper Model 31. Bad Boss would ask them for a part number, and the technician would reply, "I don't know, Buddy knows all the part numbers." Then he would go to the kid and say he needs to send a sensor to the technician, and the kid would point to the racks where all the parts were labeled by part numbers. "I need a part number if you want to add it to an order." Buddy had an exhaustive Excel folder with all kinds of parts listed in it on his desktop. He also had a massive collection of manufacturer's binders on shelves behind his desk. The Excel folder was already named something obscure. Bad Boss couldn't find it. So Bad Boss was forced to look parts up in the binders. No Control F in Excel to find a part number for Bad Boss. Buddy had bookmarks on his Chrome browser for manufacturers and vendors' websites. He removed all the bookmarks, so Bad Boss, if he wanted to log into any of these sites, had to create his own login. Buddies were on LastPass, but Bad Boss didn't have the LastPass password. Buddy was also adept with computers, so he had been given the access to the phone system portal. He set it up so that any calls to his desk phone or work cell would get "I'm on vacation, in my absence, please contact Bad Boss at extension 123. And then the call would forward to Bad Boss's desk phone, and if unanswered, to his work cell. After hours, emergency calls went directly to Bad Boss's work cell, and if unanswered, to his home phone. Buddy set up his Outlook with an auto reply that said to contact Bad Boss and copied owner in. Then, Buddy shut off his work phone and took 2 weeks off. Bad Boss found out in a hurry that Buddy's job wasn't so super easy after all. He was getting calls from irate clients, technicians with the wrong parts, and calls in the evening that he had no way to handle. Remember that they repaired industrial machinery, and some facilities were 24 hours. When Buddy got back, Bad Boss was waiting for him by the door and went ballistic. It was a screaming match that drew everyone, even owner, who literally had to step between them. Finally, Buddy just screamed, "F this crap, I can't work with this guy." He turned to the owner and said, "You saw how this place ran when I was doing his job, and now you see what it's like when he's doing mine. I'm going back home right now, before I do something I regret. So you have a choice to make. I'll come in tomorrow and clean out my desk if this butthole hasn't cleaned out his first." When he arrived on Tuesday, all the staff were grinning, and Bad Boss's office was empty. Owner called him into his office and told him that Bad Boss was gone and Buddy could get back to work. "Nope," said Buddy, "his office is empty and I want it. I want his job. I want his pay. I want his perks. I have been here for years and you know what I can do. Put me in charge." And that's how Buddy got his promotion. Since then, the company has grown, and Buddy has grown right with it. There are now branches in 3 cities, a huge staff, and Buddy is in charge of it all. And he still reminds me when my favorite band is coming to town. Ah yes, we have this person that is completely qualified for the job, trained and has been doing it for years, but let's hire somebody else from outside because they might know better than the person that's been doing it for their whole life. Corporate BS at its finest. Check out all 4 OPs linked in the description down below. I thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.